Can we proceed?
Thank you, Chair. Let's quickly pick up from where Honorable Sokanyile left. Let's go straight to the message. You are reading the message. Read the message.
The message, Chairman, says, "Get ready, you lying crook. I'm going to make sure you spend some years in prison. You were bribed by Mkhwanazi and Mabula. Now you will pay for your crimes, guaranteed."
And you consider that not a threat?
It's a statement of fact.
No, it's a threat.
You
Mr.
might
O'Sullivan.
consider it a threat.
No, no, no,
I don't
Mr.
consider it a
Osullivan.
threat.
That is a threat. Mr. Ngabinde is within his testimony in Parliament. You send him an SMS whilst he's still giving testimony in Parliament. And you say he must get ready, you what? Lying crook. That's not a statement of fact. That's a threat. And that's a deliberate undermining of the work of Parliament. What is
Because
your take?
I then go on to say lying under oath to Parliament is a very serious offence. Newton's third law, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Chairman, if certain members determine it to be a threat, that may be their opinion. I had several years of experience of the criminal conduct of Cedric Nkabindi and his conduct.
So the lying under oath part is a second SMS you sent.
Correct.
What time was it sent?
So, Chairman, what happened was I received a message from somebody else.
No, Mr. Osullivan, please.
It was 1840.
What time was the second message sent?
The first message was 1843. The second message was 2015.
That's exactly when we would have finished the business of the day.
Right.
So would I be correct when I say you saw that you messed up and you were trying to clean your mess?
No, Chairman, somebody sent me a screenshot of what Cedric and Kabindi were saying at Parliament. And that prompted me to send that message.
You said, get ready, you lying crook.
Correct.
You are going to jail, it's your time to pay for your crimes. Isn't that a threat to a witness of Parliament?
I don't believe it's
It is a threat, and it is undermining the people's Parliament.
I don't believe it's
and it should not be done. Let's pass this side, this part. You firmly communicated to Parliament your intention of not willing to come and participate in these proceedings before the 20th of February, citing a lot of reasons.
Before the 20th of February?
Yes. So, citing a lot of reasons. And amongst those reasons, you write a letter to us saying, if we are to take a decision to subpoena you, let's go forward. You are ready to take us to court. What convinced you now to come all of a sudden?
Chairman, I raised my concerns with attending this committee on the 27th of November and again on the 2nd of December, where I set out several factors. The one factor is that I was overseas. The other factor is,
Mr. Sullivan.
Sorry, Chairman.
I don't want to interrupt. I don't want to interrupt.
But you are interrupting.
No,
Chairman.
I have said in my question with a lot of reasons.
You asked me.
The question is, what then convinced you to change the decision not to come and come to Parliament? Now you are taking us back on the reasons you sent us. We know the reasons you raised with us. Now we are taking us back now on why and this and that and that. The question is, what then convinced you otherwise to change your decision of not coming and suddenly come? That's what we want to know. We know the reasons you raised. Don't repeat them.
And I was trying to explain what convinced me. So the issues were, first of all, I wasn't in the country. Secondly, I wasn't planning to be back in the country until the end of February. And then the concerns I raised, I wanted to receive a summons. And the reason I wanted to receive a summons was because I had a legal team standing by to go to the High Court and get an order that would allow me to testify virtually. But I didn't receive a summons. Instead, I received a letter, I think it was last week, from the chairman stating that they would assist me with the arrangements for my personal security. So I took a decision, rather than not be able to place these important facts before this committee, that I would come and attend in person because the summons wasn't issued and I wanted to come here and provide this information. And I need to point out that I sent my first draft of my statement in December.
Okay.
So I made it clear that I wanted to come here.
Okay. Mr. Osullivan, are you a habitual liar?
Pardon me?
Are you a habitual liar?
Of course not.
Are you a name peddler?
A what?
Name dropper?
Of course not.
Are you an information peddler?
Absolutely not.
Do you hold Mr. George Fivers in high regard?
I've never met him. I think I probably met him 25 years ago.
But in the statement you say he was the best commissioner. So after him, there was no proper commissioner appointed.
Chairman, I did not say in my statement that he was the best commissioner. I never said that. If you can point that out to me, okay, I would be very happy.
We'll take you there. Do you know that Mr. Fivers Commissioner Fivers recognizes you as an information peddler, a liar, and a name dropper who went to his office, who asked to live with him to Ireland when he was headhunted by the Irish government to go and be a commissioner in Ireland?
What? I didn't understand that. What did you say?
I'm saying, do you know that Commissioner George Fivers regards you as a liar, an information peddler, a name dropper? And he says you went to his office when he was headhunted by the Irish government to go and preside over police in Ireland.
This is the very first I'm hearing of it. I never went to his office. I didn't even know he was headhunted to go to Ireland. So I think somebody's fabricating these stories and passing it on to you. And I'm guessing it's probably people in crime intelligence.
No, your guess is wrong.
Who is it?
Commissioner George Fivers said it himself in a public platform called African Renaissance Podcast.
I've never seen that.
So he's not crime intelligence. So he is lying.
I suggest that possibly you have been misinformed. I've never gone to see George Fivers and asked him
to go he is lying.
In Ireland. Can you produce the evidence that he said these things?
I can send you a video. It's available. But I'm saying if he said it, he is lying, according to you.
If he said that, he's lying, yeah.
So everyone else is lying except you.
Who's everyone else? Can you define that?
There are a lot of people you are mentioning in your statement that they are lying. So that's everyone else. That includes Masemula, that includes Kumalo, that includes Mkwanazi, it includes everyone else. So everyone else in South Africa in the world is lying except Mr. Paul Osullivan.
You making that statement.
We can pass it, it's fine. So there is an accusation against you that you captured IPID through Mr. Robert McBride in an attempt to do your own things within the security, the justice, the criminal justice system, of course, focusing on SAPS. Now, you confirm here that you would have assisted Mr. Robert McBride to get his job back. You went to an extent of popping out unprovoked 200,000 rands to pay for his legal fees. Mr. McBride came here under oath and said he has actually used some of your information, if not most of your information, in conducting investigations at IPID. Do you think that any rank and file citizen of South Africa can believe that you have not captured IPID at this rate?
I can state categorically on the record, Chairman, that I did not capture IPID. And anybody that believes that to be the case is living in a different world, a dream world.
And these facts that I've just provided to you mean nothing to you.
Which facts?
The facts that under oath, Mr. McBride said he has used a lot of information to conduct investigations at IPID. You have under oath confirmed in this parliament that you have paid Mr. McBride legal fees to get him reinstated at IPID. You said it. So are you saying these facts, two particular facts I'm talking about, mean nothing to you? Is that what you are saying?
I don't understand what you mean by it means nothing to me. The reality of the situation.
No, you're saying anyone who believes that you have captured IPID is dreaming. Correct. So I'm saying I'm putting facts before you that were actually accused under oath. So we were saying these facts are dreaming. Is these facts, two facts, a dream to you?
So if you have a situation, Chairman, where the criminal justice system is captured by criminals, and a person such as myself, and I wasn't alone, by the way, there were others, decides to come and assist in uncapturing the criminal justice system, are all of those people now to be accused of capturing the criminal justice system? Because that's your analogy of it. And the reality of the situation is quite simple. In 2015 or 2016, I can't remember the year now, Robert McBride was unlawfully suspended. And after he was unlawfully suspended, a number of people got together, not as part of a strategy or anything like that. I found out that the Helen Suzman Foundation wanted to join as an amicus in an application that was being brought to set aside his suspension. I also found out that he had hired attorneys, a company called Adams & Adams, a very reputable firm in Pretoria. And I contacted the partner of that firm and I asked him, would it be acceptable to make a contribution towards the legal fees? I didn't ask for anything in return. What I wanted to see was McBride back in his job. I wanted to see Clemesa out of his job, and I wanted
What
to
do you stand to benefit when he's back at his job?
Pardon?
What do you stand to benefit when he is back at his job?
What do I stand what?
Benefit when he is
I don't
back
stand
at
to
his job.
benefit anything. It's what the country stands to benefit. Because what had happened, I had opened a criminal docket against the then acting commissioner of police. And instead of carrying out an investigation, IPID shelved it, and they shared a copy of it with General Pashlani. And General Pashlani then arranged for other police officials to come and unlawfully arrest me, drag me off a plane, assault me, torture me, and then start a process to arrest me and charge me on no fewer than, and I had to go to court on 6 different trials. And I spent 88 days in trial and 140 days
out of
preparing
6 different trials, how many were withdrawn?
3 were withdrawn. I was acquitted on 3.
Okay, let's proceed on this fact, on this aspect. Is it correct that the British military intelligence works closely with the MI5 for domestic operation and with MI6 for foreign operations?
Now I think they do.
Okay.
But 40 years ago, I don't think they did.
So you are not aware that at the time you were there, the MI5 and MI6 was working with the British military intelligence?
40 years ago, they weren't.
Okay. So you are a property developer in UK in 1985. You suddenly become a tourist in South Africa and the Africa at large. You identify an interest of property development. As a former military agent of Britain, you enter the public service through being a reservist. When you have actually acquired citizenship within a very short space of time. In 1995, you were given your citizenship. In 1997, you were training people as a reservist. Now, you entered through some unexplained properly ways of being at the airport and stuff. You get into the country. You open a forensic company, forensic investigation company. You also open an NGO, Justice which is one of the features actually foreign intelligence infiltrates foreign countries. So with this explanation of your history and your trajectory in South Africa, would you blame anyone who accuses you of being a foreign spy?
That is the narrative of the corrupt.
But do you blame them given these facts I'm putting before you?
Yes, I do. That's
Okay.
the narrative of the corrupt generals in crime intelligence and the police service. And it's not a new narrative. It was first started by the late Jackie Celebi. It was peddled again by General Pashlani, and it's been peddled recently again by General Pashlani and by his comrade Cedric Nkabindi, and it was peddled again in this house by General Mkhwanazi. So there's this strategy to discredit the good work I've done in this country over the last 36 years.
Okay. Who paid for who funded your property development business in South Africa?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
But your company was still new, was established in 1985 in the UK.
No, Chairman.
So are you saying
there's
you
the most-
amassed necessary profit to restart a property development business in a foreign country?
Before I came to live here, Chairman, I'd made property investments here. And those property investments were made with cash from the UK because I was busy with property developments there and I made a profit.
Okay.
And in 1989, when I applied for permanent residence, I was granted approval, and that approval enabled me to bring in funds for further investment, and that's what I did.
Okay. Should we not ask Honorable James to bring us more proof of payments?
Pardon?
No, let's leave it. It was on a lighter note.
It's sarcasm.
No, it's not. It's not. I was just asking if we can ask Honorable James to bring more proof of payments. So
Maybe I should lend him my aircraft to go and fetch them.
we will also check if the aircraft actually belongs to you. Yeah, we will check that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah. So IPID investigators are appointed in accordance to IPID Act, Section 22. What business were you doing at Pahlani's house with IPID officials?
I think I explained that in some detail, but I'm happy to explain it again. And it's covered in my statement in some detail. I opened the docket in February 2016. And after I opened the docket, the acting head of IPID, because Mr. McBride was on unlawful suspension, the acting head of IPID was a gentleman by the name of I think it was Israel Kamanyani. And while he was acting head of IPID, instead of carrying out or instructing the carrying out of the investigation, he passed a copy of the docket to General Pashlani. For 10 months, no investigation was carried out. When Mr. McBride came back to his office at the end of October, I met with him and a team of his investigators at the beginning of November. And after that meeting, I was informed by Mr. McBride that he was putting Mandla Mashlangu as the lead investigator on this investigation into General Pashlani. And Mandla Mashlangu, I met with him in the Spa shopping center across the road. And he asked me
Mr. Osullivan,
to
can you go
show
back to the site at the Sapele Hills estate,
that
where you were there with IPID officials?
that's what I'm talking about. We met at the shopping center across the road, and he said, "Can you show me the house?" I said, "Yes, I can."
So it was a coincidence
No.
that you were around and they did not know the house.
No, they asked me to meet there, to show them the house.
Okay. On what capacity were you part of investigation?
I wasn't part of the
No,
investigation.
you were. If they are going to check something that is alleged to be from the proceeds of crime, and they want to go and do site viewing as part of collecting evidence, and they call you to go with you, you were an investigator, obviously.
No, in fact,
You were a complainant and then a bogus investigator as well.
no. So unfortunately, you've got the wrong end of the stick.
Okay.
What happened was I was asked to point out, and it happens all the time, where an investigator will invite somebody to come and point out
Okay.
where evidence can be found.
Did you ask how many cars General Pashlani is using from the security at the estate?
I can't remember. It's like 10 years ago.
Did you ask how many bodyguards does he have at from the security?
Definitely not.
Did you ask about the ammunitions? I mean, the guns they are carrying?
Definitely not.
You remember that?
I would absolutely remember
You
that.
don't remember about the cars, you remember about the bodyguards and the guns.
So I think we were interested in a particular car. And I think one of the questions asked was, does he have a BMW i8?
As by whom?
Because he was seen driving a BMW i8. And we were able to get the registration number and find that actually that car belonged.
When you say we, you mean yourself and the IPID officials?
In fact, I.
No, you say we.
When I say we,
So,
I got
so
the
it means
information.
you're part of the investigation. You're a complainant and the investigator at the same time.
No,
Bogusly.
no. I got the details of the car and I passed it to IPID.
So you were part of the investigation.
No.
So you complain,
I
then
carried out the
direct
investigation
you
for 10
direct the
months.
outcome through feeding them with information. Let's pass it. Let's pass it. Do you have a grabber?
A what?
Grabber.
No.
You don't have a grabber.
I wouldn't know one if somebody put one in front of me. I've never seen a grabber.
What is your response to the allegation that you have a grabber and you are illegally intercepting information from individuals?
That's a complete lie.
It's a lie.
Yeah.
So it's your evidence that it's a lie.
100% it's
Okay.
a lie. And the person that's stating that, I invite that person to take a polygraph test.
Okay. What is your relationship with General Shadrack Sibiya?
Again, I explained that in some detail earlier. It's only a professional relationship. I've explained that I don't know where he lives. I've never been to his house. I don't know any of his family members. I've never met any of his family members. The only time ever that I had any social interaction with him at all was in December 2016 when we had a braai, and it was a year-end braai, and he was invited. And at that stage, he was no longer working in the...
Who did the braai? At whose house were you?
At a house in Bedford View.
Whose house?
It's owned by a company.
Whose company?
It's not my company.
Whose company?
A friend of mine owns that company.
So your friend invited General Beer in a social braai.
My friend wasn't in the country. He allowed
A
me.
friend of your friend is your friend.
Pardon?
No, you can proceed.
Pardon?
Saying you can proceed.
I asked the friend if we could use the house, and there was a specific reason. And the reason was that the house had been not originally, it had been through a number of people, but one of the tenants in the house a few years earlier had been Radovan Krejcir. He was a tenant in the house. It wasn't his house. And the journalist.
So Radovan Krejcir is a drug lord, according to you. No?
I'm saying he's absolutely a drug lord.
A drug lord.
Yeah.
So you coincidentally found yourself and General Spear with socializing with a drug lord in a braai session.
He was in prison.
Hmm.
He had lived in the house 10 years earlier.
So he was no longer in the house.
He was in prison.
Okay.
In fact, he was in prison on charges which I laid against him.
Okay. That's fine. Let's how many years have you been a forensic investigator?
Well, we can say 25 years.
25. And amongst other things you've been investigating are close to the operations of the criminal justice system, SAPS, and all that.
No, so we investigate fraud.
Yeah.
We investigate, that's my firm, we investigate various offenses, mostly corporate fraud. When there's criminal dockets open, we expect the police and the prosecution service to comply with the necessary legislation and to prosecute the people involved. But when you have corruption within the police, which we have in South Africa, the problem is that the people don't get prosecuted. They get away with the crimes. And unfortunately, although we may mainly investigate fraud, there's a lot of other crimes going on, including murder, drug trafficking, rape. And the people that commit those crimes also don't get prosecuted. And that fault lies not necessarily with the NPA, but with corrupt police officials who take backhanders to make the docket vanish, or the docket is sold at court, or they're released on bail and they're never seen again. And those defects in the criminal justice system is what results in 88 murders a day in South Africa. And I decided many, many years ago that if I could do something to reduce the level of crime in this country, it wouldn't only be to my benefit, it would be to the benefit of all South Africans. But in order for that to happen, we need a criminal justice system that works. And it doesn't work if the people at the helm are corrupt.
Okay. So in these 25 years of being a forensic investigator, have you ever picked up any existence of any drug cartel that has got a corrupt relationship with SAPS authorities?
Yes.
You can elaborate.
Well, there's a number of samples. There was one drug syndicate when I was at the working for AXA, which is 25 years ago, by the way. We were able to get video footage of drug mules arriving from places like Brazil. And instead of passing through the customs area where they could be liable to being searched, instead of passing through the customs area, when they arrived into the country, they were met by police officials. And the police officials were wearing reflective jackets with their details on, and you could see they were police officials. And these police officials would escort the drug mules, pretending that they've arrested them. But in fact, what they did was they escorted them through customs, and then they took them to a vehicle that was waiting outside, and they were allowed into the country. So those are clearly drug traffickers who are working with corrupt police officials. We found in the case of Radovan Krejcir that he was working with a guy called Michael Arsiotis, who's a Greek Cypriot, and they were peddling drugs that were coming in to South Africa and then being shipped to parts of Europe. So this area, the drugs were being shipped up there. And then Radovan Krejcir entered into a corrupt relationship with a general in the police, in fact, crime intelligence. His name was General Joey Mabasa. I discovered that General Joey Mabasa's wife was in business. A company had been formed between General Joey Mabasa's wife and Radovan Krejcir's wife. So that was how General Mabasa was getting funded. Then we had the situation of the Paparas family, Stefanos Paparas and Dimitri Paparas. And their corrupt relationship was with Glenn Agliotti and Jackie Celebi.
Okay, I think those scenarios are enough. You have actually met what I was expecting. Now, you speak about also the fluctuating budgeting of both the PKTT and the crime intelligence.
Sorry, I'm the fluctuating what?
Budget. That it was 93 million at some point, and
I had no knowledge, Chair, of the budget of PKTT. I never, in fact, I didn't even know of the existence of PKTT until the 6th of July last year.
Okay, so you have no comment whether it was appropriate at this stage to disband it or not?
No knowledge whatsoever. I knew nothing. As I said, I didn't even know of the PKTT. I had no knowledge of it whatsoever. I had no knowledge and still don't have any knowledge of the budget and what they do. Only what I've seen in the media since the 6th of July last year.
Okay. You also make mention of what is wrongly done within the crime intelligence. And amongst other things, you speak about the inappropriate hiring of relatives, talk about buying of farms that are not used for the operations of crime intelligence, speak about buying houses and all that. Are you able to share with us who is doing that? Who are these people who have hired relatives? Do you have the actual proof of the farms and the houses that you can share with us, even if it's after the session, if you want to?
Chairman.
Yeah, I'm the acting chair. You can proceed.
Pardon?
I am the acting chair when the chair is not here.
Okay.
So you are still on my hands.
You're the referee. So, Chairman, the reality of the situation is that, sorry, I just forgot the question again.
I'm saying you accuse crime intelligence authorities of of misuse of the Secret Services fund.
What we need to do, Chairman, is to turn the clock back to 2010. And sorry, not 2010, 2000. And in the year 2000, which is 26 years ago, the provincial head of crime intelligence, sorry, I think it's 2005. The provincial head of crime intelligence was Major General Richard Mdluli. And Major General Richard Mdluli was promoted and became the divisional commander of crime intelligence. And after he became the divisional commander of crime intelligence, he gave somewhere in the region of about a dozen jobs to family members. They bought properties he bought privately and took bonds out for those properties. And then he rented those properties to crime intelligence using slush funds to pay the rent, which he then used to pay the bond on his house. And more recently, like in the last few years, we've had houses in Cape Town that would be rented out during the holiday season. Instead of using them as safe houses, they would be rented out so that cash could be paid for rent to holidaymakers, and the rent money would be received by them. So there are a lot of misuse of funds. And if we go back to 2012, when General Masemola was the acting head of crime intelligence, and General Mkonazi was the acting commissioner of police, in 2012, 35 million rand was spent on purchase of luxury vehicles, one of which was a Mercedes M350, which was supplied to the then Minister of Police. So, unlawfully, of course. So you have all these things going on. And then, of course, we have refurbishment works carried out at safe houses. And the refurbishment works were the production of invoices. I think General Nematansela, I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong, was arrested and charged for fabricating invoices and sharing the money he got from the Crime Intelligence Slush Fund with the person that fabricated the invoice with him. So you have all this abuse of the Slush Fund. And during the same period, the Slush Fund rises by 500% when inflation was only 113%.
Thank you. You say at paragraph 57 that there is a third force in the crime intelligence of South Africa. Can you describe the nature of that third force?
Yes. So, Chairman, during the period what we can call state capture, during the period what we can call state capture, this third force became quite active. We had an intelligence minister by the name of David Mhlobo, who worked together with people from crime intelligence and National Intelligence Agency, which at the time I believe was being run by a gentleman by the name of Arthur Fraser. And what they did was they created a parallel intelligence infrastructure. And this is all set out in a very detailed affidavit, which we took. And it's not included in these papers because I didn't know you would pop out and ask that question. But we took a very detailed affidavit and we supplied it to the committee of inquiry that was set up by President Ramaphosa in 2018 to look into the intelligence services. And in there, it explained how the phones of political opponents were being tapped. And if we look at the example of Richard, and that was now the National Intelligence Agency and crime intelligence doing that. And if we look at the example of crime intelligence officials putting documents together, what we could say were manufactured using AI and creating false evidence and laying down false evidence trails and paying public funds. We believe, in fact, I now have the details of the person involved who's running a social media campaign and he's being paid out of crime intelligence slush funds. And I expect we'll be finalizing that investigation within the next week or two, and we'll be providing that information in terms of Section 27 of the MPA Act to IDAC.
Can we please request you to provide the ad hoc committee with that information as well?
Pardon me?
Can we employ you to also provide the ad hoc committee with that information?
The investigation is still ongoing, but we have the information and we're still investigating it.
Okay, you say in paragraph 113 that General Mdladla Mkhwanazi bought a company from a convicted fraudster.
That's correct.
Can you identify to us who's this convicted fraudster?
Yes, if you just bear with me a second. Which paragraph?
113,
I thought you
113.
said 130. And 83. If you look at page M, okay, it's 833. So
It is now 12:45. May you please stop speaking and pass the microphone to the next speaker?
should I answer the question, Chairman?
No, the time of the member is done. We are now on the next speaker. That is Honorable Nomvalo.
Thank you very much, Chair.